Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Arirang News Break on this Wednesday, July 20th. I'm Handan in Seoul. Our top story this morning, a few would have thought it possible just a few months ago, but Donald Trump has been formally nominated the Republican Party's candidate for the U.S. presidential election in November. He received the support of the majority of delegates in a roll call vote at the GOP's National Convention in Cleveland, Ohio. Tweeting shortly after his official nomination, Trump said it was a great honor to be the Republican nominee, adding that he would work hard and never let Americans down. He's set to give a speech at the convention center any moment now. The second day of the four-day RNC is focusing on making America work again. The speakers penciled in for the second day include House Speaker Paul Ryan, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and two of Donald Trump's children. We'll bring you more details on the nomination and what Trump had to say in our next newscast at noon. Amid escalating tensions between the two Koreas since Seoul and Washington's decision to deploy THAAD to South Korea, North Korea has revealed that the ballistic missiles it lobbed into the East Sea on Tuesday were part of a drill aimed at preemptively taking out South Korean ports and airfields. The North Korean Central News Agency reported this morning that the firing range was purposely limited to simulate a nuclear attack on military positions in the south. It added that leader Kim Jong-un was at hand to provide field guidance to the drill. The agency said the military vowed to ruthlessly and immediately launch nuclear tests with the leader's command. North Korea fired 3 ballistic missiles, 1 Nodong and 2 Scuds into the East Sea yesterday, with 2 of them flying far enough to reach all of South Korea. The controversial purging campaign by Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is spreading from the military to the academia. Hundreds of university deans have been fired. The Turkish leader has told his supporters that the government will be making a big announcement on Wednesday. Park Jong-hong has the latest.
The post-coup crackdown has now reached the ivory tower. Turkey's High Education Board on Tuesday ordered the resignation of more than 1,500 university deans. State broadcaster TRT says the resignations are being sought at both state and privately run universities. Sources say the forced resignation is aimed at removing those associated with U.S.-based Islamic preacher Fethullah Gulen, whom President Erdogan is blaming for the coup attempt. Earlier in the day, more than 15,000 staff working for the National Education Ministry were sacked. Over the past 4 days, thousands of others ranging from the military, police, judiciary to other government offices have either been suspended or detained, with many now facing prosecution. Park Jong-hong, Arirang News.
The International Monetary Fund has cut its global growth outlook for this year. The latest forecast comes mainly on the back of possible fallout linked to Britain's recent decision to leave the European Union. Kim Min-ji reports.
The International Monetary Fund expects the global economy to expand 3.1% this year. The new growth outlook is down 0.1 percentage point from its earlier forecast made in April. It also slashed the global economic outlook for 2017 to 3.4%. The revision comes as Britain's decision to depart the European Union continues to kindle more uncertainties, undermining the growth outlook for advanced economies. The IMF says other external concerns include trouble surrounding European banks as well as China's piling debt. Breaking it down by country, the UK, expected to be hit directly, is forecast to grow 1.7% this year, down 0.2 percentage points from the earlier forecast. Next year's outlook, when the impact starts to kick in full swing, was slashed 0.9 percentage points. Emerging economies like China, less affected by the Brexit vote, are more or less expected to be unchanged or edge up slightly. Although Korea was not included, the IMF's earlier forecast expects the country to grow 2.7% this year, revised down from 2.9%. The IMF says countries need to spur domestic consumption in the short term and push for structural reforms in the long run. The institution added that governments need to take aggressive policy measures in case of further market volatility and economic uncertainties. Kim Min-ji, Arirang News.
Back here at home, Korea's labor force appears to be graying as more older Koreans continue working later into life. Workers over age 60 outnumbered workers in their 20s in the second quarter of this year. Statistics Korea says the number of workers over the age of 60 came to almost 4 million in the April to June period, outpacing those in their 20s, which stood at around 3.8 million. The 60-plus age group first overtook those in their 20s in the second quarter of 2014, and they have been trading places ever since. In the second quarter, the 60-plus population grew at a much faster pace than the younger generation. On top of that, more elders are joining the workforce to clear their remaining household debt, while those in their 20s are finding it hard to get decent jobs due to the slowing economy. That's all for now. Keep it tuned to Arirang for more domestic and global headlines throughout the day. Thank you for watching.